up, gang?
Hey guys.
Welcome.
Hope everybody had a great week. We have had a good week. Sorry, my hair is just not doing what I want it to do tonight, so you'll see me fighting with that all night long. Hope everybody is well, and if you're not, I hope we can help you feel better by the end of the evening.
Welcome, Larry and Eric. They're in there early tonight.
Eric is in the house. Larry, if you're here and you have the ability to comment, please jump into the comments, say hi, and if you stick around and you like what you're seeing, please subscribe, like, and share. You never know who may need to pop on any given Friday to any given Friday to just get some help and hope. And this looks pretty good in my face. I don't have to worry about my hair. That's good. But
I could put a handkerchief over it too.
there you go. But yeah, it's I don't know where you guys are all from, but those that are not in Pennsylvania, let me just tell you how damn cold it is.
It is so cold.
How cold is it?
My wife had to iron the nipple marks out of my work coat today.
Literally.
That's brutal out there.
And I'll tell you, I hate the cold. And my body was meant for Florida. And if I had
My
known
body's
that.
meant for the buffet. Especially in this camera. Holy mackerel.
Holy mackerel, Andy. I know, I'm in my warmest hoodie.
I lost a bunch of weight, man. The camera does me no justice.
No, he did.
It's like a storefront. You always look fatter in a storefront
Yes.
when you're walking through the mall. Like, oh my God, is that what I really look?
He went down like 80 pounds. It's amazing.
I didn't get out of that.
And I keep finding the
50.
damn thing. I keep finding the damn weight. That never fails. So we were supposed to have a speaker tonight, and unfortunately they were not able to attend. So you're stuck with just Pappy and I. And here we are.
I thought I was going to have the night off.
Nope.
Big-
No such thing.
Big pan of mussels on the stove. I was eating some
Yes.
spicy mussels.
Even I had mussels, and
They were
I don't
delicious,
even
and
like
I had
mussels.
to walk away from them.
Yeah, so apparently Eric sent me a photo of a canine dog photo contest, and one of our Bucks County dogs made the cut from the sheriff's department. And so kudos to Bucks County. I don't know what he came in for the photo contest, if he came in at all, but Eric did share that with me today.
Well, we're getting off to a slow start here. We're going to talk about dog photo contest. We're going to talk about recovery. Or?
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
I've been reading up on a xylazine, however you pronounce it. Yeah, xylazine. It's known as Trank on the streets of Philadelphia. It's actually a horse tranquilizer they're cutting the fentanyl with now. And it's really causing some really bad side effects. Horrible wounds. And there's no comfort meds. There's no overdose reversal for it. Narcan doesn't work against it. And there's no comfort meds to help you come off it. They're scrambling for some kind of protocol to follow. And the reason they're adulterating the fentanyl supply, because let's face it, we don't have heroin no more. Not in Philadelphia. Because the fentanyl, even though it's like several hundred times stronger than the heroin, it's got a shorter half-life, as they call it. So the high doesn't last as long. And it creates, you have to use more and more fentanyl. So they found that adding this trank to it prolongs the high for the fentanyl. That's the reason they're adding to it. Because I was at odds end wondering why they were doing it. And I was finally reading up some information on it. And that's why they're adulterating the fentanyl. Because the high doesn't last long enough. And I don't know. It's causing horrible wounds to the point where people can't get admitted into treatment because the wounds are so severe. I mean, you got muscle exposed, bone exposed. I mean, I'm
Yep.
talking serious wounds out here.
And a lot of people don't realize that you cannot get into treatment centers when you have opened wounds. They have to get a medical clearance. They have to go to the hospital. They have to get that taken care of before they can go into a rehab, because most rehabs are dealing with nurses and counselors that don't have that capability of, dealing with opened wounds. So that makes it even worse, because you can't get treated for, anything until you get the medical clearance.
Right, and the clock's ticking already with the person. I mean, trying to you got a small window where they're willing to go into treatment before, withdrawal kicks in and you really start feeling bad and you're just going to bounce at that point. You can't take it anymore. Now, most people don't notice that they go with all the good intentions. Now they find out they can't get in because of the sores. Now you got to leave the place you're trying to get, an assessment and all that, and try to go to a hospital. It's like they're like, the hell with this. I'm starting to get withdrawal. I forget it. Sadly enough, I mean, we're trying to spread the word out there, though. If you do have a loved one or whatever yourself are experiencing these open wounds that are associated with the tranq, you got to get it treated before they're going to accept you into any rehab. I mean, very few rehabs will admit you in that condition except for a medically inclined rehab like Valley Forge or whatever, where they're actually like a hospital in themselves. But there's very few of them. But if anybody's got anything they want to talk about tonight, I'd always just try to give a little latest information I heard out there just to get it out there. Is there anything anybody wants to talk about tonight? Anything on your mind? Feel free.
And I just want to put this out there. This is our 99th show. So we have...
like it's 1999.
Yes, we have special guests coming next Friday. So make sure you tune in for that, because it's a beautiful recovery story, and I think it will help a lot of people out there that are trying to get their lives back together. And I'm looking forward to it, so I'll keep you posted, and come back next week. If you are out there and listening for the first time, we should have a great show next week.
Yeah, maybe can we have balloons?
No. Well, maybe. I don't know.
No.
I guess we could do balloons.
There's a big one hovering over the United States right now.
Yeah.
I got my eye on. Holy mackerel. And you're
Andy.
following the news. Wow.
Wow, wow. It's crazy out there. But
I think the Chinese are dropping fentanyl from this balloon over the United States.
I'm
I
telling
can't be
you.
sure, though.
right. They also, this on the 15th, we have gone now to every other Wednesday night for Living Grins Family Support Group, and we won't be in attendance this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday is actually our 10-year anniversary that the Family Support Group has been coming together and meeting, and
Yeah, a lot of confusion going on with the meet, when it's starting, so if in doubt, just give Lori a holler, 267-737-8031 if you're thinking about attending one of
Right.
our meetings, and so we get a hard copy of a schedule together.
Yep. And they are going to have pizza, sweets, and beverages, non-alcoholic beverages, that is, for anybody that is out there that is wanting to check out the family support group. I
What
just
did they put out at Overeaters Anonymous meetings, like tofu?
water,
What kind of party do they have? Like water and,
Water.
and tofu.
just water.
Just curious.
Also, if you are really interested in getting some education for the family support, ProAct has their family support meetings Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will be running some of the Thursday meetings or co running some of them. So check that out. If you need more information, let me know. I will be happy to share that with
And
you.
this is all towards our local viewers, so they all know
Yes.
the ProAct and
Lower
Livergreen
Bucks County.
our local
Yeah, it's in Bristol.
centers, to us here in this Philadelphia suburbs.
So it is a recovery center, and they just really are kicking off their family support and family education department. So on top of that, they have a lot going on during the week, and that is Gateway to Work. So if you are fresh out of recovery or you are in a recovery houses, you wake up, you make your bed, you have your breakfast, and you're out looking for a job. That's where these recovery centers come in. You can go right to the center and you can have coffee, you can have conversation, you can do some of the activities that are there in the location. They will help with creating resumes. They will give you the opportunity to use the computers to look for work, which is a struggle for those that are fresh out of recovery, because you don't know what you're doing, you don't know where you're going, you just know that you need to move
You
forward.
may not have access to the internet or computers and such. I mean, some people start out from scratch,
Right. And the recovery houses, you're not to sit and do nothing all day. You get up and you start your road to recovery. And if you're struggling with anything, that's what the recovery houses are meant to be. They are meant to teach you life lessons out there.
and inspire you and to lean on you, something to get you out there, so you're not going back home, sitting in the house, doing
Yes.
nothing, getting in your head,
Yep, getting in your head.
not
That's
going to meetings, just
stinking thinking. It's
getting all complacent in your recovery. I mean, that's the good thing about recovery house at all. They can light a fire under your ass to get you out there to start doing things.
and
you know.
and you have to speak up too. They're not going to sit there and say, "Do you know how to balance a checkbook? Do you know what you're doing? Do you know how to do laundry?" Like, mommy's not going to be doing your laundry. You're going to be responsible for that, and that's where you have to raise your hand and ask for help. And that is the most important thing that
There you go.
You can do.
Kathleen's tuned in. Hello, Kathleen.
Hi, Kathleen.
Nice to see you again this week. Well, I can't see it, but it's nice to see me again this week.
But that's the important things. And Ryan from Emily House was going to be here tonight, but unfortunately he couldn't make it.
I think he double booked.
He probably double booked, and I don't blame him if it was because it's cold. I don't blame him.
No man will ever admit to that, but I'm sure that had something to do with the equation. It is like
I know.
the tundra out there. I tell you, see, we didn't get eased into this. We've had a very
No.
mild winter,
Yep.
and it's like no Alaska out
Yep.
there.
And that's right. Go Eagles. They're going to do some good old football. I don't know when the Super Bowl is. I think 2 weeks or something.
A week and a half.
A week
So,
and a half, I think. And
my wife is not a big sports fan, but she's an athletic supporter.
yes. They did do a really good job at greasing the poles, but apparently
You're not keeping them maniacs
our
off the poles.
passionate football, actually any Philadelphia sports fans, they're climbing those poles. I said they sprayed themselves down with 409 so they could get up onto the poles.
Well, it's good that they greased them up as good as they did, because anybody sticks their tongue on the poles this weekend, they won't stick.
Exactly. But Yeah, we're crazy when it comes to our sports. So I do jump on the bandwagon when we are in the Super Bowl or we're in the World Series. Basketball's just not my thing. Never has been. What others? Oh, soccer. Eh. I like the food channels. I'm not big on the sports channels. So
I like curling. Curling's a good sport.
I like to watch curling. It's
Very,
silly.
very riveting.
It's so
curling.
silly. I don't
I'm
know
gonna be one of brute guys.
what it's about, but I do like to play shuffleball, or shuffleboard. I enjoy that.
Golf.
So
How do people sit and watch golf?
I don't know. I don't know. Always wanted to learn golf, but then it's just too hot or it's too cold. So unless I'm in an air conditioner golf cart, then
They
you
do
know.
have air-conditioned driving ranges, I think.
Do they?
Oh, yeah, and heated.
Well, no, I want to play
Both.
golf. I want to hit holes.
I'll
and
go up to
stuff.
Top Golf and go swing some clubs.
Well, I want to walk the
I'll be in the food court.
How many? 8
18 holes.
18 holes.
But
I thought it was
you're not
8
playing,
or 9.
You're not playing holes on a driving range, honey. You're just
Well, I know,
hitting
but
the
I
ball.
want to learn how to play golf. So I thought that would be fun. Peppy and I used to do the frisbee golf. That was pretty fun. But that's about my sports thing. That's about
Well, when you're not real good at it, you lose a lot of frisbees. And then you
Yeah.
find other people's frisbees while you're looking for yours.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Kind of a give and take thing.
Exactly. But yeah, so that's a good resource out there. And I do have somebody looking for a Sublocade doctor in the area. So if you happen to know one, please message me. A loved one is going to be going into treatment and in the Bucks County area. So or into the recovery house. So he lost his doctor. So if you know of a doctor in the Bucks County area that does the Sublocade shot, please message me because I would like to help them. We do have a caller.
Hello, caller.
No, let him. Hello, caller.
Oh,
Oh, what? It's that phone again. Is that you, Eric? It sounds like you, but
No.
you're a little chopped up.
no, this is an ex-Bucks Countyan.
An ex-Bucks County.
Countying. How you doing, caller? Now I recognize the voice. How you doing this evening?
I haven't been there in 47 years, but I figured I'd call in and let you guys say hello to you all.
Well, hello.
I'm sure you all know who I am, but
I
no one else does it. That's good.
I do know who you are, and you can tell them who you are if that's what you wish. If you want to stay
Yeah.
anonymous, you can stay anonymous. That's
Well, let's just say I'm very close with the family. We'll just put it that way.
okay.
Oh, it's like,
But
what's my
while
line?
talking-
Like, what's my
You
line? I
wanna-
love that show.
I know if you want to talk about recovery, I've been through it. I believe in it. You know, you got to have your high power for one. Two, you got to want to quit. You don't want to quit, you're not going to quit. But I suggest if y'all have a problem, you might want to quit. Because I've been through it. I've been through the ringer. I've been doing drugs since I was 10 years old, 11 years old. Marijuana all the way up. I was heavy into drugs my whole life. I've been clean and sober 12 and a half years now. People say that, oh, it's easy. You were locked up. You've been in prison for 12 and a half years. That's why you don't use. Well, no, sorry, but where I came from, it was there. Everything was there. I've had it. I pushed it. I moved it. I never used it, though.
Right.
But yeah, it's hard, man. So take it from someone who's been through the ringer, man. If you don't want to use, reach out, get some help. It's out there. There's all kinds of help. There's so much help out there. Of course, you know, it's like you have to go to recovery houses. You can't just walk into meetings anymore. It's just not the same. At least it's not in California.
Mm-hmm.
California, they have the homeless taking over the meetings and stuff. You can't get into meetings because of that. You know, it's just not the same. But yeah, it's different. Like I said, I've been clean and sober 12 and a half years, and I'm enjoying it.
Yes.
Phew.
Getting your life back is very uplifting, and
Yeah.
staying connected to the recovery world is probably the most important thing you can do. Finding your sponsor, finding that connection if you are working a 12-step program. And
Yes. Well, yeah. If you want to quit, you can do it.
Mm.
Some people, some people need people in their lives to stay clean and sober.
yes,
Some people don't. Some people have to go through bad experiences, which I experienced, to not want to use ever again.
right,
If I start using it again, I'm dead. I'm going to die. I know it. I lived it. And luckily, not luckily, unfortunately, I had a 12 and a half year chunk of my life taken away from me.
right,
But that's why I'm grateful I won't ever use it again. Because it's not going to happen.
right,
It can happen because I will die. I swear to God, I know it for a fact. I've seen dreams. I've had dreams. I've seen visions. It's yeah.
yes.
Addiction is ugly.
It's a nightmare. Yep.
I've done it all. I'm a lot. I've done a lot, not all of it, but I've never done fentanyl in my life, but I've done pretty much the rest. So pills,
Right, right.
yeah,
And you're
so
staying connected to a program?
I am pretty much kind of in my own way, but I'm doing what I have to do right now. But like I said, there's some people who need to be connected with other people.
Right,
I myself, I chaired meetings where I was at, not facilitated meetings where I was at. But those days are over for me. I know what I need. I need to stop using and stay away from it forever. So,
right,
but right now I'm just taking baby steps into society right now.
exactly.
I'm looking forward to facilitating my own meetings eventually. Right now, I just take the baby steps I need to do right now.
Yep. You got to
You
find your way back
right.
to society. And
You got to remember, addiction is a disease that's never cured. It's a disease that's maintained and kept in check. So
Yeah.
I mean, and you know that, but I have to put it out there for other people. I mean,
for the
yeah.
families especially that
it's-
don't realize.
it's a lifelong obligation. You know, to
I mean,
just
yeah. I mean, I can imagine what I put my family through too. I mean, I've had two marriages and everything that I lost. I mean,
Right,
and it sucks. I mean, it sucks because I feel like a piece of turd for the first one anyway.
yeah.
And, yeah,
Well,
it's just
well, you can always get back what you lost. It may not be with the people that you want it to be with, but there will be other people in your life that you will find peace with, and restore your
Yeah.
life back.
I'm trying. It's going to take a minute, but
Yeah,
I'm hopeful that I can build one relationship back in my life,
right,
one that I lost.
right,
If nothing else, it's one.
right.
But that's the time right now. Right now, I got to work on me first.
Exactly. And just
We'll have to
learning
work on
how
that.
to use technology.
Yeah.
Just
Technology. Yeah. Well, all I can say is, technology. I hate it with a passion. I'd rather have my old flip phone back. Because this thing here,
With-
yeah, I'm lucky I can
with the
still have
rotary
it.
dial.
uh-huh.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't mind the old phone with the cords. Most people don't even know what the phone with a cord is. But yeah. Well, speaking of technology, I'm out in bus bound the other day, and just for shits and giggles, I was looking for a phone booth. Some people, I asked some girl on the bus. She goes, "What's a phone booth?"
Oh my God, that's fun.
I'm all, look, you used to go to these places.
For
and
our
have
viewers
little
out here, we
boxes.
know this caller very well, so we're just laughing because we can. We've been all through it. We heard this story, but it's yeah. This gentleman has been out of the loop for a couple of years,
Yeah.
Lori, Pappy, and Richard know exactly who this is. They know exactly who
and he
I
was
am.
having a hard time with his phone the other day. And we're just laughing at him. And he's like,
I didn't have a hard
this
time with
shit, I
phones
can't
today.
take this technology."
Yes.
I hate it.
Yes.
It sucks.
It
It
does.
really does.
It does. And then
anyway.
everything's done by computer, or your banking's done by computer, like everything. It
Must
just
be a real chore watching television.
Oh, that's even fun. I learned how to part almost. Okay, I'm getting used to a fire stick right now.
Pappy still can't work a fire
Oh my
stick.
God, we got Fire Sticks and Hulu and this and that.
And I messed that up. I'm careful not to look. Hey, look, now order here, and I'm not ordering nothing. I'm gonna look at all that free stuff. That's it.
Eric, Eric says, "I love technology. It keeps me in the dark."
Yeah. Well, I had an incident with one of my family members.
Eric still has an antenna on the roof
what
with a
if you-
rotor.
Yeah.
Huh?
We're just talking
One-
about a
One of
comment.
our listeners here is chiming in about technology and said it keeps him in the dark. I say he has an antenna on his roof with a rotor at his house. Eric does.
Yeah, I ain't seen one of those in a long, long time.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just want to call and say hi and let your listeners out there know that there is hope.
There is hope. It is out there.
Man, recovery works
have
if you
to
work it.
Yep.
Yeah, it only works if you work it. You gotta want to quit.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're right back into it. I swear to God, you will.
Yep.
I mean, I don't recommend going to prison for 12.5 years to quit. There's much easier ways to do it.
Yes.
So just that, like I said, you want to quit, you work it, it'll work for you. I swear to God, it will.
Yep.
I truly believe in that. But anyway,
Yes.
I'm not much for phones or conversation. I don't like people, so I'm gonna cut it short.
Tell us how you really feel.
Stop sugarcoating things. Just come out and say it, Mr. Mystery Man.
Yeah, go Eagles all the
Go
way,
Eagles. Yep. They're going.
and quit complaining about the cold. It's beautiful. It's nice, and I'm in shorts and in a slingshot. So
Barb, hey girl. It sucks here. It's freezing. I don't like it.
Anyway,
All right, dude.
you guys have a good night.
All right,
Thank
you
you.
too.
Thanks for calling
God
in.
bless,
Yes.
and keep working it, man. All right.
All right.
buddy. Take care.
Take care.
Yeah.
That was California in the house. So Barb
Barb's
popped
in the
in.
house. Hello,
Well,
Barb.
I'm still here. Unfortunately, I don't know how.
Oh, Christ, I'm glad I didn't talk about him. He's still there.
Hang up for him.
Technology is not his thing,
No, it's
but
not.
he'll get it. It's coming all the time. He's
Yes. How
like
you doing, Barb?
fast learner.
Hope you're doing well.
How's the coffee biz? Coffee prices are going down. You could tell your employer tomorrow that Arabica beans are coming down in price. They had a good crop, and orange juice is going up. They had a bad crop. So, of course, I like
and you know
both.
what? And that's so funny. Every year, the orange juice issue is always going up or what have you. It's crazy.
Eric
Well-
does have a rotary. He even told me to make him model.
Yeah, he does have a.
The AR-37 Alliance.
We have one, but we don't use it. We just hang laundry on it. No, I'm just kidding. It's too high up in the air. But it's true. Like, there's many paths to recovery, and unfortunately, some of our loved ones have to deal with the hard luck with jail and prison, and if that's what gets you clean, then sober, then that's what it does. I'm sure it's a lot better when you do it on your own and you come to that decision that enough is enough and you're ready to, you know, seek treatment, seek meetings, seek MAT, whatever it is that is your way to recovery. That's the most important path you take. And, you know, I'm all for the 12-step program. That's my go-to solution for those that are just trying to get sober for the first time. It's the best way to at least attempt to try and get yourself to a better place. But not everybody fits with that model. So figure out what it is. Figure out what you need to do to make and get another day, to, you know, get back with your family again and see your friends again. We lose so much when we're in active addiction. Betty Ann is in the house. So, you know, there's just so much loss when it comes to that addictive pathway. And it's a struggle to find your way out of it. And it's a struggle for the families to find their way to accept it. You know, that's so hard for the families because the families just want to fix it. They just want to be there. They want to, you know, but that's what we do. That's just what we do. And it's so hard to come up and find that that's not what we can do. They have to find their way. And, you know, and so be it. If it is the pathway through jail or prison that gets you sober, then, you know, God bless you. Not everybody is in jail or prison, you know, living the
There's drugs everywhere.
yeah, I mean they
the
get
prisons
them.
are loaded with drugs.
Yeah, just because they go in doesn't mean that they're not going to get high, but they have a better chance of, you know,
working
finding that
programs and stuff.
recovery.
I mean, for lack of things to do, it's like, you know, maybe I'll take that recovery class. You know, then I
Right.
got some time to spend here. You know,
Yeah,
so you're kind of like a captive audience, and a lot of people take advantage of the programs, and they decide to start working them then because nobody wants to be there.
no, and we
It's
all
a good
know.
deterrent.
Yeah, we can't arrest this epidemic. We just can't. And I understand if you know you're stealing. It's horrible what you bring yourself to do.
But that was brought up at our meeting. Like some people didn't know how to take us. I forgot how it played out. Who said? But when we say it's the first time you get any sleep is when your loved one's either incarcerated or in treatment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and who said that? Somebody they had to explain themselves about that. Maybe it was Bob. People didn't understand what he meant by, you know, you get sleep because your loved one's in jail.
Right.
Well, when they're out running the streets and all, you never know what the hell's going to go up. You know, you don't hear from them. You assume the worst. So, yeah, every time the phone rings, your heart stops. You know, until you see the hell it is. You know. So, yeah, sometimes when our loved one, you know, finally gets popped on something, some kind of warrant or whatever, and gets incarcerated, we know they're safe for the most part, and they get some sleep. I mean, that's what it meant by that. People were kind of put off by that statement.
Right. And you know, what's really bizarre is a family member actually calling to let the police know, like, my loved one is here. He's got or she's got warrants. And because they see how sickly they are and how deteriorating their health has become. And, you know, it brings us to you know, seek desperate measures to help our loved one. And, you know, I do know people out there that have, you know, put themselves in a situation where their loved one may not talk to them for the longest time because
It's a big decision to make, really. You know.
I mean, nobody wants to see their loved one behind bars.
That might be just the move that saves their life.
Exactly. And, just because you may have been the one that picked up the phone and made that phone call, it can be that they don't want you to come visit, or they don't want, you to have any part of being incarcerated. However, most of them, I'll say probably 99% of them, are going to be calling because they want money on their books. They want, money for the phone. And, you have to weigh, what your options are. Are you willing to do that? They do get 3 hots and a cot. So, you have to weigh your decision on how you want to move
And apparently
forward
the
on
food's
that.
not as bad in some of these establishments as others.
That's what I hear.
As we noticed.
Right.
We'll just leave it. We'll just leave it at that.
So, yeah, so we go to drastic measures to help our loved ones. And, it is true. When our loved one is in treatment, that was like the best sleep ever, because you knew they were there. And, you knew that they were on their road. It may have not been their end game. They may have, hit a couple more relapses before that was their end, and went into treatment and took it serious. Not every one of our loved ones will go into treatment and be serious about it. It was just getting you off their back. A lot of people will go into treatment because, their health has deteriorated. They haven't been able to eat. They haven't gotten clean clothes or what have you. And
Some will go into treatment to avoid consequences like warrants and such and all
Yep.
that. So they'll play that gambit and hope to try and,
and hey,
dodge the popo.
yep. And a lot of people are there and can get out just by doing the drug court, and drug court has helped a lot of people stay sober and out of trouble. So, you always you have options.
Yeah, and you just see, we had a judge on a couple weeks ago, very good friend of ours, the Honorable Andrea Duffy.
Yes.
She's a judge in a neighboring township here, and she's a very big supporter of drug court and of rehab. So, don't think law enforcement is out to get you. They're not all against you.
No.
Most of them aren't against you. It's like the first time in your life you're experiencing consequences that you've been dodging, and you make them out to be the bad guy. And Judge Duffy is a wonderful person. All around.
She
It's like
is.
she's put her neck out and just tried to help so many people. It's awesome to make her acquaintance.
Right.
If you're out there, hello.
And Montgomery County, she is up in that area, and she has her own organization, DARA, that is a wonderful organization that helps those that are struggling with addiction.
Like
And-
Drug and Resource Association, something like
Drug Alliance
Resource
Resource Association, I believe
yeah,
it
I think
is.
you're right.
And, that's one of the things that is so important that you look into, especially if you're on Facebook, just following these pages of the different organizations that are there to help you find the resources, help you get out from the life you're living. It's so important to find those resources. Eric says we have a great drug court program here in Mahogan, 'Mahogan County, Ohio.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, you just see, we had a judge on a couple weeks ago, very good friend of ours, the Honorable Andrea Duffy. She's a judge in a neighboring township here, and she's a very big supporter of drug court and of rehab. So,
And Mahone, whatever. Whatever it's pronounced. I can't really see it
I had a
because
hard time teaching her Conshohocken.
yeah, I can't even see it. My eyes are so blurry.
It's like
But,
Mahoning County, Ohio.
Mahoning.
Wasn't that
Mahoning.
hard. Mahoning.
It's all blurry. I can't even really see it. So, but yeah, they are coming up with these programs, and I think it's amazing that they have realized that the epidemic is affecting so many states, the whole country. We're all, especially the big cities in every state, they're struggling with this epidemic, and it just keeps getting brushed under the rug because COVID and everything else that they're trying to put in place to just take our eyes off of this eyesore that is being created in the big cities with people getting put in tents up and the trash and the clothes that are being handed out and just thrown around, and we're having a real problem with that. And the people that live in those communities are getting tired of it. They walk out their door and there are people deceased on their step, and this is what's going on in our country, and they don't want to share that with the world. I'm not saying go out and take pictures of what's going on, but talk about it. Talk about what's going on in these neighborhoods. Talk about these poor children that have to, pass people on the street that are using. And, they're just innocent little children that, don't deserve that. And, it's just sad that that's where we are today in our
It becomes
society.
a warped sense of reality for them. It's like they're normal. They see it day in and day out in some of these neighborhoods. It's such as Kensington,
Yep,
which is our drug supermarket,
yep.
so to speak. In Philadelphia, it's
All
an
the
it's an
majors.
open air drug market.
Yep.
I mean, and it's just it becomes rationalized. It goes on so many year after year after year. Like people are hardened and they're not even phased by it. They just take it on. Whereas many viewers out there that aren't from the area, that are from other states, would be appalled at what you saw there. Words cannot describe. You have to experience it. Mm-hmm. It's like I said it many times. Like walking into a third world country. You wouldn't believe you're
It's
in the
even
United
worse
States.
than that today.
You wouldn't believe you're in the United States. But when
No.
you walk into these neighborhoods, it's just an open air market with flagrant disregard for any kind of laws or normalcy. I mean, it's bad. It's really bad. I mean, so bad it even upset our judge. The judge I was talking about, we took her out years ago on an outing down in Kensington, and she was all aware of the drug problem or anything going on, but she'd never seen it at ground zero like that in the front line.
Right.
She was so emotionally overcome by it. It was unbelievable. She just wanted to go and describe everyone and try to save them. She goes, I know I can't, but I just felt like oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so raw and in your face down there, like to drive through and see 100 people.
And that's
at a distance. I
most.
mean, using right there on the streets.
Yeah, that's most big cities.
Every big city has their area.
Yeah, and you have to, you want to leave for church in the morning, and there's somebody either dipped out or deceased on your front step, and it just gets to be the normal, and it's just so not normal. You just grow numb of it because it's just so constant, and it's a sad disease because it's just constantly,
It's constantly evolving. It's constantly evolving a more and more grave situation. I mean, it's unbelievable how it just keeps morphing into something else even more horrific. I mean, with the addition of all these new substances and the increased potency of other substances, it's like
Is harm reduction the answer? I don't
It's
know.
crazy, and I even the other night it occurred to me just by accident. We were talking about how all these drugs are becoming more and more potent. Even our marijuana has become more and more potent. I mean, methamphetamine's gotten more potent to the point now it's creating. I mean, just you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Psychotic episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got the marijuana is so strong, it's creating psychotic episodes for, especially in some younger people. We're having a big problem with the younger people. But oh my God, everything's getting stronger and stronger. And it just occurred to me, even our liquor and our beer is getting stronger and stronger. You know, now with the
Yeah.
introduction of craft beers and all, now that the alcohol content's super high, and everybody's into these like super high proof like drinks. You know, like Black House and Rumplemans and all. They're like it's super high proof liquors. You know, and I mean, and all your major the liquor, maybe they have a higher proof version of their product and all.
Mm-hmm.
The exception was Bacardi. Bacardi took their 151 off the market in the United States, I believe, all the United States, because there's just too much problems with it. The litigation and stuff was more than most people could handle. You know?
And I know that's what I used to drink when I was underage and drinking. But you know, rum and cokes, that was the
But like all our liquors
The
are getting
choice.
stronger and stronger and higher proof.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a society. We're just looking for bigger, better, stronger.
Yep, and oh gosh, let's throw every known flavor into our vodka and
Yeah, everything like. Well, I blame that on the millennials.
well, yeah,
With their Swedish fish and
Swedish
birthday
fish,
cake
birthday
vodka.
cake
Give me a
vodka.
break.
And you know it's
Larry
just
says it's supposed to be rot gut.
yeah,
I'm supposed to be birthday cake flavored. Rot gut.
Yep.
Larry uses them old cowboy terms, don't you, Larry?
yep. It is.
Liquor's supposed to taste nasty. It's supposed to taste like liquor, you know? Like
Yeah,
remember when cough medicine used to taste horrible when we were kids? You know, now they got to make it all good tasting. And you got to
Yeah,
worry about
bubble
kids
gum.
drinking it and getting hurt.
yes, and it is a problem, and especially when they start coloring it, and then they're you know, gosh forbid we can't have just one shot in there. We have to have 15 shots to make one drink. It's crazy, and that's, you know, I just can see that we're going down a really scary path with all of this being that it appeals to the younger generation.
Yeah, everybody's like seems to be like self-medicating now. Like, I mean, instead of the party, it's like it's taken on a new angle. You know, with COVID and everything and all, everybody's mindset has changed dramatically. There's a lot more depression, a lot more.
Oh my gosh, the depression right now and
A
anxiety.
lot more isolation. People are
Yep.
isolating themselves, you know, and they're self-medicating more.
Mm-hmm.
It's-
And I know so many people that have gotten so comfortable with just staying home
yeah,
and
no,
not
nobody
leaving
wants
the
to
house.
go back to work. Nobody
Nobody wants to
I'm
go
gonna work
back
from
to
home
work.
forever. Yeah.
Yep,
If I figure out how to drive a truck from home, I'd be doing it.
yep. I mean,
one
and
of them autonomous trucks.
yeah, but you know the stores are closing early because they don't have any help. Like people have just gotten so
Complacent.
they have and just everything's being done technically from home. But the kids don't go out anymore or hang out because they're hanging out on, you know, PlayStation or
And you're hearing less and less of like, hey, Joe just retired from the company. He was there for 30 years. That's become a few and far between anymore.
yeah.
You know, and then today's, business, well, everybody stays somewhere for 3 years.
Yeah.
And they move on to another company, get a better deal, move on to another company. Yeah, you can hear less and less of these people have been at a company their whole life and
Yep.
retire from them, you know.
And-
We're very impatient as Americans now.
Yeah. And my mom can't text anymore, but she's following you, Barb, and is always, you know, your biggest cheerleader out there.
Yes, my mother-in-law is having some technical difficulties out there
Yes.
with her communication devices.
Yeah, well, they watch us on the TV now, so they can't comment. She does call in from time to time.
And I must look big as life on a TV screen. I checked myself out on ours. It's
And Barb
Right,
says hi, Mom. But
she's out there. We know for a fact.
yes, and you know, it's just crazy today with, you know, how isolated we have become, and it's causing just so much more addiction with alcohol, especially because, you know, you start out just as a social drinker, and now you're not leaving the house. You're working on the computer from home with your coffee cup filled with wine or, you know, a beer, and you just start getting like used to that until you then start having a problem because the depression takes over and the only thing that is there is the drink. Yeah, and that's happening so much, Barb. We are losing way too many young kids to suicide and overdose. We are losing so many. And that's why it's so important to, you know, see the signs, watch the signs, and reach out if you can. If you're seeing the signs, reach out and you know, talk to them.
Hello, caller. We have a caller.
Yes, you do.
Hello, caller.
Hello. How are you?
Good. And we have
That's good.
California once again on the line.
One of our technologically
Yeah.
challenged listeners. That's
Yeah, I am technical.
and she's probably calling on a landline too. I bet you.
I am.
The last person in America with a landline.
No, I broke my phone.
Yeah.
Not by throwing it. But I just wanted to call and say, hey, Barb, we're so proud of you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And your other California caller, too.
Yes.
We're coast to coast people.
Coast to
coast to coast.
It's funny
Coast to
because we have people from Spain, Africa, quite a few other places, Canada, so many other places that I had no idea were watching us. So it's pretty pretty
Eric
cool.
in Ohio. and
Yeah. And Barb says
Here
thank
I
you
From
am.
so
Africa
much.
to Ohio.
Yeah, from Africa to Ohio. I think
Mahoning County.
Jamaica was one of them, and New Zealand.
wow.
New Zealand.
Yeah, I know people in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Used to be my neighbors. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Beautiful country.
Oh, yeah, that's what I hear. But
Yes.
anyway, you just tell Barb that we're very proud of her.
She can
Keep
hear
up
you.
the good work.
And she's listening, and she's
She's
saying
listening,
thank
and
you
she
so
can hear ya.
much.
Thank you so much. And she'll tune out early because she's got to get
I
up
know
early
she's
for her.
gotta get up
her part-time
early
gig.
To work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's-
Okay, Barb, you take care.
She's our barista.
And stay warm because it's going to be going down to 10 tonight. Yuck.
Oh, it's beautiful here.
Oh,
It's
bite me.
58.
Bite me. It's
58.
it's
like a heat
a
wave.
it's a balmy right now. It's a balmy 16 right now. And
Ooh.
that's without the wind chill factor. So
It's like 35-mile-an-hour winds today. It was like
Yeah.
the tundra out there. It was horrible.
yeah. So
Okay, make sure you duck the balloons, okay?
okay.
Yeah, with the balloons. I hear
Yep.
And love you.
Love ya.
And I'll talk it to you tomorrow.
All righty.
Thank you very much for the call.
Thank you for
You're
checking
quite
in.
you.
welcome.
It's my favorite mother-in-law
Okay.
out there.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
So if you guys are out there and you're listening and you want to talk or say anything, please feel free to give us a call in. If you have something that is bothering you.
Yeah,
And
like say, some of you people in the background out there don't want to be seen on the screen, your name and all. You could call us, and it's anonymous. We have no way of knowing who you are. It doesn't come up your name and stuff. You know, you have a question and you're a little hesitant because you want to keep a level of anonymity. Feel free to call in and ask a question or if there's something you want to add.
Barb wanted to add to my mom's call. Yes, bite me as well. It's damn cold here. But yeah, if you have something you need to get off your chest, that's what we're here for. This is what we want to do. We want to help as many people as
Oh, I
as
seen an
we
old picture
possibly
of Barb
can.
yesterday.
I know, on a corded phone. It
Yes, I
was,
seen an old picture of you, Barb,
Uh-huh.
yesterday.
yeah, yeah,
Looked very familiar, like another person I know. They look very similar.
yes, and that's crazy. She was my friend, my first friend when I moved to Levittown, and
And I hear they've reconnected all these years later.
yeah, very old. But and hopefully one day Barb will come and visit us and be on the show.
Okay, we'll put like a what's my line thing. We'll put a mask on her and
Yeah,
disguise her voice.
we'll just put a thing of
Yes,
that.
my name is Barb.
We'll put that that cling wrap that is kind of like pixelated so you can't see it. We'll just have her hold it in front of her face.
You're really giving us a lot of thought.
I'm just trying to think a screen. No, you saved yourself. We just kind of helped push you along the
We
way.
just cheered you along.
We were your cheerleaders. We pushed you along the way. You were the first one to reach out and ask for help, and you did all the hard work. We just cheered you on and gave you, you know, the resources and the tools to get you where you are. And that's the most important thing is, you know, taking that step yourself. Nobody can make you go, but we can.
That was your decision.
Yep, it was all yours, and you made a great decision because you have really done a great job. Okay. Eric sent me something. It says recovery. Don't feel disillusioned by where you are now. Your progress is good enough. It's meaningful. It's on time. Though everything may go unacknowledged, every silent step is movement in the right direction. When it feels as though everyone is going forward and you're being pulled back by your own demons or your past, remember that every moment in this journey will play its part in the greater narrative. What a beautiful story to share one day written just by living your life. I love that, Eric.
Very nice. Eric has good literature, good information.
Yes.
I hate to say plethora. I hate that word. So I don't want to say he's a plethora of. He is. He has an abundance of knowledge on the on the issue.
And he's a poet as well,
Yes, he is.
just so you know. He used to call in to another show we used to be on, and he used to read his poetry. And it was always very meaningful. So,
Poetry.
yes.
What rhymes with Eric? Nothing. Derek.
Yes, you did drag your feet, but, you know, you wanted to hit Reno before you took the plunge. So you did what you needed to do, and you did it at your own pace and your own time, and look at you today. I love that you kept moving forward and you did what you needed to do to get you where you are today. And I hope hubby is doing well. and loving the grandbaby. But yeah, I mean, recovery is a we program. And you know, without support, it's so hard to keep going. And that is so important that we have our support system with us wherever we go, whatever it is, whatever it's keeping you strong enough to stay in the recovery process. That's the most important thing that you can do with your life, is to stick with that. Because what happens is, when you start feeling, okay, I can step back, I know what I need to do. You tend to have those moments of weakness.
And even if you have like an emergency moment, anywhere, at an airport, anywhere you go, you can always go and have page Friends of Bill W. And somebody will show up to help you out.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the 911 for
Yeah.
Alcoholics Anonymous, like that's amazing, how far that reaches out there. I mean, anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on vacation or at a store or you find yourself in peril,
Yes.
just
And
answer to any friends of Bill W. Can you please come up to the service desk and
yeah.
somebody will come up there and talk to you. I mean, like, people just know that, when they're out and about in their life, if they hear that, to come and try to render assistance to someone else that's struggling.
Yep. And Barb's going to be a grandmom again. Eric says sober, saving our bodies every resource. Yep, pretty much. It's so true. You have to have that support field. Even, and I said it before, even when you are doing a MAT program, without that support, you can go and misuse anything else with it. So it's so important to keep that support group.
Or sober could be sober old bastard eating rice.
Yes.
The acronyms are everywhere.
Yes. But that's what it's about. Like, when you're doing a MAT program, if you're not going in and doing the clinic stuff and sitting down in their with their clinicians, you can just be sidetracked and start abusing everything else. That's why it's so important to have somebody with you along the way, keeping somebody strong with you.
And like one of our earlier callers said, not everybody wants to be around other people helping them on their mission. And yeah, everybody's path is different.
Yep. Barb, have a good night.
Good night, Barb. We know you got an early day tomorrow.
Yes, I hope you have one of those starters for your car that warms it up before you have to get out in that cold.
And you get to work, have a nice hot cup of coffee.
Yes, we'll see you next Friday, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in always, Barb.
Yep.
More power to you. Recovery works if you work it.
Yes,
You're
it
living
does.
proof.
And again, next week is our 100th show. I can't believe we've had 100 shows so far. Crazy.
Funny you said that. I had a hard time just opening my wife's car to run to the bank, and it wasn't even 10 degrees yet.
Yeah.
It was like all crunchy and in the handle, like, oh boy. And it didn't want to open.
Welcome, John. Yeah, it's just crazy how, people just come together in the recovery world.
You'll never find more camaraderie than you will in the recovery world. I've learned that, doing all these events and all, and DJing these parties and all. It's such a pleasant, helping group of people.
Mm-hmm.
For lack of better terms, I mean, they come out, they volunteer. Like my normie friends, they don't volunteer for shit. What? I'm gonna go out there and plant things in a garden? Yeah, tell me when you get home. Well, you know,
Yeah.
like, I mean, just things and helping each other. I mean, it's you know, it's just it's human nature. I mean, people in recovery are just so much more kind-hearted and giving because you know they know that other people have helped them in their journey, and like you forever feel like you want to give back and help other people, and it's just awesome. And too many people equate it with like that kumbaya style. It's not like that. You know, we in some of my groups we've been referred to as like a cult.
Yeah.
You know, by like other loved ones that are still in active addiction. You know, like our parent group meeting where they were like a cult and they're
Right.
brainwashing their parents and shit. It's nothing like that. I mean, we're pretty lackadaisical. Our approach. It's kind of like this show here. We're not all stiff and formal. I mean, we have some fun. Yeah, we like to joke around. A little levity never hurt nobody. And I personally think it puts people more at ease, especially at our meetings. They're more likely to open up when they feel at ease. I mean, because I mean, you go to one of our meetings within 15 minutes, you know you're not being judged. Our parent family meetings, I'm referring to, and this one here, we don't judge nobody here. Whatever path you take that's your decision. There's no one way in recovery. I mean, everybody has their own journey, and when we sit here and we tell you things, we're not really telling you what to do. We're just making suggestions on what we know has worked for us and other people, and you take what you feel you can use, and what you can't, you leave behind. I mean, we're not telling anybody what to do. I mean, let's face it, most of us out there, we know what to do. We just need some encouragement to do it. You know what I mean? You need some people to stand behind you. And like I said, be a cheerleader. You know, you make you feel more believe in yourself. Because I mean, a lot of times when you're in the throes of addiction, you lose all hope for yourself. Yeah, you feel like you're never going to conquer it. It's conquered you. You're too weak against you, and you need some people to push you and kind of nudge you along, make some suggestions, and give you the courage you need to embrace your recovery. I mean, because only you can make a difference. I mean, the rest of us, we can help you, make suggestions, but it really comes down to you. And it's only going to work when you come to that, point in your life where you embrace your recovery and you want to go through with it, and that's when you become successful with it. But if it takes you 10 tries, 20 tries, keep trying. There's no set number. I mean, some people do it in one try. It's not often, it's few, but it happens. I mean, a good friend of ours, Fred, man, he one try and he turned his life around. I mean, where some people it takes a couple tries, Larry took 2 tries, and that's great. Larry don't mind me talking about that. He brings it up all the time. But some people take 10, 20, 30 rehabs sometimes until, it finally clicks for you, and you decide to embrace your recovery. But don't give up on yourself because it's been 10, 20, 30, which they're not all that high, but some are. Everyone's path is different, and then it's so miraculous. We see people that have given up on their loved ones, and it's like, oh, this cycle's been going on for years. I mean, I have people like 20 years, 30. Then all of a sudden, one day, they decide to get help on their own, and it works. And it's like they just blow everybody away because people say, he's not going to go through with it, or she's not going to follow through. And one day, out of clear blue, they do, and they just shock us all. That's just the way it works. Lori had to leave for a minute. She was reading to the blind nuns or something. I don't know what out there, but
God, it's cold out there.
that's the way it works. I was just telling our viewers, sometimes it takes you 1 try. Sometimes it might take you 30 tries. I mean, there's no
Nope.
scheduled amount. I mean, it's like
Nope.
you
Just
work
as
it till
long
it
as you're
works.
trying, try again. You take whatever time you need to get to where you need
You
to
gotta
be.
be strong because sometimes your family members give up all hope, and that's hence our name, Living Hopeful. Mm-hmm. I mean, they give up all hope. I mean, they just think you're a hopeless case. You're just never going to change. And you know what? If you don't change what you're doing, things probably won't change. That's why
Exactly.
we say you got to change.
You do.
You change,
And
change your angle, your program, see what works and what
Yep.
pans out for you.
nothing
Not
changes if
nothing
nothing
changes.
changes.
So-
Eric says recovery is contagious. It is. It is. You know, people want what they see in recovery. It's just a matter of when they're ready to take those suggestions. You know, it's the suggestions that have been given that have worked for other people. And you know, a lot of people will look at it like, that is so stupid. Like, what is that going to do for me? Like, oh, screw you. Like, it just, you know, until, you know, you take that step and you take that suggestion and see that it's that simple. It's a simple program. You just have to be willing to be able to, you know, take those suggestions and work that program.
It's important, in my opinion, it's important to surround yourself with people in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not going to be judged by them people. But whereas people that aren't in recovery don't understand how recovery works or what about, like, they'll have their preconstrued notion of what they think addiction and recovery is, but it's usually very flawed and very inaccurate.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to understand what you're doing, why you're doing things at all. You know, but that's why it's important to be around people that aren't going to judge you. You know, go to a meeting, surround yourself with others, find a sponsor. You know, find other people in recovery because they're more in tune to what you're going through. I mean, a lot of your normies, which, you know, and I understand this fully because I was one of them people for many years. So I don't get mad at them. I'd be a hypocrite to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it wasn't until I educated myself and immersed myself in this recovery, you know, world that I truly understood and I truly recognized addiction as an illness. I didn't always feel that way, but you know, after educating myself and seeing it and talking to, God, hundreds of people, you know, out there on the streets and stuff like that, I finally came to grips and understood that, man, this is a disease. You know, nobody wants to be like this. Nobody wants to live this life. I mean, as you know, I mean, once you cross over that line into addiction, the party's over. You're not partying no more. Which people that don't know nothing about addiction may still equate you to, look, if you still out there partying, you don't go to work. All there's is party. Well, physically it may look like a party, but as you all know, it's not a party.
No.
You're out there doing your drug of choice to feel well. You know, not that because you're having a great day. And it's like, I mean, at that point, you need it just to feel well. I mean, the party's long over.
Yeah.
Now it's a horrible life. Whereas, you know, on the outside, everybody look at you, they think you're having a blast. You know, look at him. I'll go to work. Oh, he's all disheveled every morning. You know, look like, man, you know, I got to get up for work every day. You know, him, look at him. Oh, now he's on Social Security. Oh, Jesus Christ, look at him. Why, you know what I mean? They're very opinionated.
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't understand. I mean, that you don't want to be like that. It's
You
just,
don't.
You have no control over that time. And so that's my spin on it. It's good to be around other people that are, you know, in recovery because they're more understanding, they're less judgmental, and above all, they're more willing to help you. Whereas
Right.
other people just, they'd rather criticize you and look at it than help you. And you know what? Because they don't know how to help you because they're not affected by addiction at all. They don't know what to
Exactly.
do. They don't understand. So and you can't be mad at them because they don't know. I mean, is it because they're ignorant? Or not necessarily. Not until you got to deal with it directly. Are you going to even try to educate yourself on it? Because you have no need to educate yourself on it if it's not affecting you directly.
Right.
You know, if that makes any sense.
And even still, I was affected at growing up. I was surrounded by addiction.
As was I, but I never seen a reason to understand them more or something. you know.
Exactly.
Until it fell right in my lap, someone very close to me, and I decided to get off my ass and learn more about it, and it's a very it's very fascinating addiction. I
Right.
mean, I'm very fascinated by the clinical end of it. I mean, I just find that totally amazing and interesting because I'm the kind of person that has to have answers like why that, and the clinical end explains a lot of that to you, with the brain and addiction and dopamine and all the other, chemicals the brain produces that finally allowed me to have a tangible bit of evidence as to why people do what they do and why addiction is what it is. And that's what really helped me because, one of the people I got to have an answer for things. And sometimes that's hard,
Because I know when it first affected us, I was going to my meetings, and the first couple meetings, I would come home and he would be like, "Oh, well, how was the meeting?" And I'm like, "It sucked. These people are telling me to throw my loved one out the door. Just get them out. Throw them." And I'm like, "This is just insane. Why would I do that? Like, I'm here for you to tell me how to help my loved one. I'm not here to hear you tell me to throw them out." And, I couldn't even talk because I was lost.
Yes,
I didn't know
very
what
tangible,
to do.
tangible evidence. That's a good one.
But my fifth week, he finally was like, "I got to go with you. I'll go." Because he didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to, think that this is a disease or an illness that just stop kind of thing. And 7 years later, here we are. We still go, even though our loved one, God willing, March will be 7 years for our loved one. I still
But just
go
like recovery,
because
it's not, we're not just going to stop doing what we do.
no,
'Cause he's all good now. He's all better. So, no, he's got a lifelong commitment to his sobriety, and we're very thankful, for the help we got along the way. So I'd say we got a lifelong commitment to help as many people as we can along the way. Because I got to tell you, we were lost. We were blindsided. We didn't
Yeah.
know where to turn.
no,
Like how did this happen? How did this happen on our watch?
right.
I mean, it's like we don't have no horror stories. It's it happened.
And
I mean,
and for those out there that are struggling with substance use and your family's not there for you, they just don't know how to be there for you. They don't know that there are places for the families to get help, and that's the most important part of all of this. And especially for the siblings, for the whoever the best friend, whoever is your support system, there's help to get them strong enough to be able to know how to help themselves while you're getting the help yourself. And walking into these meetings, every story starts with a newcomer. I never thought it would happen in our home. I never thought it would happen in our family.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing out of everybody's mouth that are newcomers. And
It's hard to come to grips with, and you don't know where to turn. And that's why, man, Lori, we changed gears a few years ago now from doing outreach and all, because there's tons of help out there for people that want to accept it. Being the person suffering with a substance use disorder, there's plenty of help out there. They just gotta want to take. But we noticed that the families are left behind. That they're left with questions and unanswered questions and fear and doubt. They don't know where to turn.
right.
They don't know where to find out more about, this disease. Then, I mean, they don't know about things that we take so for granted, like Narcan and things like that. Like, what is that?
Right.
And like us, we're like, wow, you think everybody knows about Narcan? They don't.
Yeah.
And
Narcan's for opiates. Well, not necessarily, because fentanyl and heroin are mixed with everything. So whether it's a Xanax that they're taking or a Xanibar, have that Narcan available, because if there's an overdose, you it's not going to hurt the person
Yeah,
if you
right.
give it
But
to
don't
them.
be misconstrued. It does not help for benzodiazepines or like Xanax or anything at all. But Narcan won't hurt you in the event that you misdiagnose what your loved one's taking. So if you know, if they are taking benzodiazepines and you think they're taking opiates or whatever, you give it, it's not going to hurt you. It only affects the opiates on the brain, but it does not help you from a benzodiazepine overdose, though, or a cocaine overdose. I mean, Narcan is strictly an opiate agonist. It's without getting into all the technicals and all, but you can't be afraid of like I could take a dose of Narcan right now and it would do nothing to me because I have no opiates in my system. It's absolutely harmless.
And Eric says, used to be I only had a problem when I ran out. Now I only run out when I have a problem like fire. Yep. And it's true. Like,
Or when you run out of toilet paper.
but it's true, you know. You're well until you don't have your drug of choice, and you have to get more. And you know, you start out, you know, doing it for fun or doing it because a doctor, you know, prescribed it for you and you didn't take the time to read that 1,500 page microscopic, you know,
Leaflet.
pamphlet that comes with it. And you're taking it and you're feeling like if you're taking it as prescribed, you're not going to have the effect if you do not have an addictive brain. If you have an addictive brain, if that chemical is missing from your receptors that hits that receptor, it's a whole different feeling for people that have addictive brains. And you know, it's off to the races. And, you know, you start like, I'll never do that. And the next thing you know, you're taking money from the family. I'll never do that. You're selling jewelry from the family. I'll never do that. You're robbing a store. I'll never do that. You're prostituting for your drugs. Like this.
And also, if you're just abusing a drug, like a great example is Percocet, which we all had a nickname of for work cassettes. A lot of your contractors and you know, physically working people out there in the field, you know, get hurt on a job, boom, they prescribe you Percocets. And yeah, get you through the day, get you through the job, you know. So then, you know, you start taking more than you're supposed to, and your prescriptions aren't lasting as long. And years ago, people with doctor shop, you'd have 2-3 doctors prescribe them to you. And next thing you know, you have a dependency on Percocet, which, you know, is an opiate. Mm-hmm. You know, so you didn't mean to create a dependency on it, but, you know, it's like, especially when you're working like that for yourself and all, like, you can't take the time off. So you think, you know, you don't want to, you know, you could lose your job and this and that. So it's just you're ready to get through. And one thing people don't realize, opiates don't cure pain. Opiates mask pain. All opiates do, they trick your brain and how your brain recognizes pain and not recognize it. The underlying issue is still there. So unless you get the underlying issue treated, you'll be on opiates the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. And that's the case. That's what OxyContin and all. You know, I know I had an uncle who was on over 25 years. Because of a fall, you know, a slip and fall at work. I mean, tore his knee or whatever. I don't even remember the whole, but, you know, like 25 years he was on them. Like, then it created the dependency on him, you know, and they got to the point he couldn't live without him. I mean, he was one of them people, you know, that was crushing them and storing them before they changed the way they make them, you know, and said he couldn't do that no more. There were more time release and all, but man, people were like just abusing them to no end, which, you know, you see all the documentaries, they're all over the internet. It's horrific if you ever watch them. Documentaries, how they took advantage of the American public. I mean, it just led so many people down a rabbit hole they couldn't get the hell out of. But, you know, there's a whole lot of reasons why we get addicted to things. I mean, but the bottom line is we do, and there's help out there to get your disease under control. And remember, it's a lifelong commitment. You get it under control, you can't go back to your old ways ever. People tell you this, that, and all. Very few and far between able to go back to a normal drinking habits or whatever, and not go right back into their throes of addiction. It's very rare. I mean, there's always an exception to every story. You always have somebody argue to the friggin' bitter end about it. My advice to you is don't. Don't take the chance. If you get your life back on a straight and narrow, you get your shit together, and everything's coming back in your life, and you're enjoying life finally, don't experiment and go back. Don't take that drink. Don't take that drug again thinking you'll be okay over other. Why take the risk? If you got all that stuff back in your life, why take the risk of losing it all again?
Yeah.
You know, you work so hard to get to where you are. And at 99 out of 100 times, it's going to lead you right down that path again. You know, like we always said, even if alcohol wasn't your problem and opiates were, you know, but you start drinking again, your body knows that's not what it's looking for.
Right.
Your brain knows. And it might work for a little while, but eventually it's going to lead you back to your drug of choice. You can't fool your brain. You know, your brain just knows, yeah, this is okay, but this ain't what I'm looking for. That's why it's a very slippery slope, and I'm not even going to go into this, but I'm going to touch on it real quickly with people using marijuana to treat their addictions. I mean, it's got a whole other big freaking argument. You know, in my opinion, you're replacing one mind-expanding substance for another, and your brain knows what it really wants. So that might be a Band-Aid for a while, but it's going to lower your inhibitions. It's going to create more depression, and it's going to lead you back down that path again. So that's a very dangerous, slippery slope. I mean, please really think it out hard before you take that route. Because right now, everybody thinks marijuana is a cure-all for everything. And marijuana's got some great therapeutic qualities for certain diseases like Parkinson's and this and that, and for chemo patients, you know, calming them down so they can eat. And I'm not against marijuana, but it's very dangerously overprescribed and suggested now, I think, for people, and especially young people. It's really tearing up our young people right now. And you don't believe me? Just look it up. Look up marijuana. You know, young people, young brains. I mean, they're definitely proven that young people are creating dependencies on it. I mean, people go, it's all natural. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even want to argue with you, but just don't believe me. Look it up for yourself.
Yeah, they actually do have a lot of people entering rehabs today because of a marijuana dependency, and it was never in the past. You didn't have people coming in for marijuana detox or marijuana rehab because it wasn't a addictive drug. And today, with the way they're pushing the crystals out on this and turning it into more of a chemical than the all-natural herb, is really causing some psychotic.
Some people can't handle it. You know, some people build up a very strong resistance to it, and but some people can't handle it, and really undeveloped, partially developed brains, especially young people, they're finding it to really affect them adversely. I mean, it's really stunting their brain development. It's really, creating psychotic episodes for these young people and all, and they're creating really bad dependencies on it. And I was reading one of these pages I go on with addicts and all, and this woman has a 14-year-old daughter. I was just reading it the other night, and she says, I'm getting her into a treatment type for these people that I think you're overreacting. Marijuana, it's like they're all self-proclaimed experts, which they don't know what the F they're talking about. They're only speaking from their own personal experience. They think they're a freaking clinician. You know, oh my God, it's so dangerous, some of these sites. And I was going to say, is there administrators on here. Is there any checks and balances to what people say on here? I mean, they're
Yes.
giving out some bad, dangerous information. This isn't your dad's marijuana no more out
Yes.
there. This shit is high test. It's not 11, 12% like it was in the 60s and the 70s, you know. When people were coming back from Vietnam and this and that. I mean, this shit's like 95% THC. I mean, it's not no way that nature intended it to be.
Right. And just to clear things up, we are not doctors. We just play them on this show. No, but,
I have a great bedside manner, though.
but no, you know, just from reading up on research and all.
And then, like, and I'm not anti-marijuana at all, you know.
No.
But you know, I think too many people are pushing this whole marijuana thing for the medical end. It's just a moniker, you know, to push the recreational end. It's more or less. And you know, that's fine. I mean,
If it's helping,
I'm not
you,
anti-marijuana, but I'm just anti the way people are billing it as the miracle drug out there all the time for everything. It's
because it does help some people,
sure it does.
but not everybody. It's just like an alcoholic drinking a non-alcoholic beverage. It's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna satisfy you after a while because you're not getting the euphoric feeling that you're looking for in that taste of a non-alcoholic beer. It just, you know, it's just going to take you down a very scary path.
Yeah,
So use caution. Caution to the wind because that could be, you know, a really scary spot. So, well, we have 1 minute to sign off here. Again, next week is our 100th show. We will have 2 guests with us and looking forward to hearing their story and seeing where they are today. And, you know, everybody just be safe. If you need any help, you need resources, you just need to talk, please feel free to reach out to me.
Reach out.
267-737-8031. Leave
If
me a
it's not Lori,
message.
anybody, reach out to someone. Don't just sit there and be ashamed or whatever.
Right.
Reach out.
Reach
Take
out.
that first step, man, and I'll tell you, life can only get better for you.
Yes. And John, welcome. I'm glad you came, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Please, everybody, if you did enjoy the show, please subscribe,
Right.
like, and
And
share.
I got to reach out, Larry. We know you had some dental procedures done. We know that's why we didn't hear from you tonight. We're not going to hold it against you.
Right.
But we missed you at the meeting also on Wednesday, buddy.
Yes.
But, you know, I just got to say thank you all for tuning in tonight. And like
Yeah.
I always say, man, recovery works if you work it. Lori,
Yes. Work it.
you going to sign out, Mama?
Everybody, have a great week. Peace out.
There we go. You got it. Thank you, gang.